you never know who these people are talking to. I've had people from Germany that downloaded my EDM beats, and what happened was they told another person about my tracks, and they ended up buying my trap beats and and the same EDM beat that the other dude brought. They leased it, so you just never know how, like, what happens with these free downloads and stuff like that. And the only reason why I'm talking about this stuff is because I don't like to talk about things that did not happen to me. All this stuff happened to me, so that's why I'm trying to pass the game down. Um, I met a lot of top selling producers, and one thing they always told me was, when you get to a certain point, you can help give back. So that's why I'm doing this. So that was one of my cheat codes, right? Whenever I'm making like whenever I feel like I want to make like some Afro beats or something like that, I'll make. Well, I have a lot of them now, but when I first started out, I was like, let me make about 3 Afro beats, sell them a free download, and see what happens, right? And so now I have like so many genres. Like, I know what genres do well, I know what some don't. It changes up every single month sometimes. But by me doing free downloads, I now have the temperature of cultures outside of America. And I've also learned that from these people that downloaded my beats for free, I also know what genres are popping in these other countries, right? Like, for instance, in Brazil right now, um, Afro R&B is really popping. So that was, I thought that was pretty cool too. Um, so that's one thing when it comes to that. Like, you can start learning like what genres are doing well for you, uh, what beats are doing well. Like, I started noticing that beats with shorter intros or downloaded more. And that taught me that, maybe I should, instead of having like these super long intros, maybe I should like cut that down. And when I did that, I started seeing an increase in my sales. So it's pretty cool how, like, these free downloads teach you so many different things that you didn't really didn't realize. Um, Let me see what else. Let me go through here again. Okay, so all right. The next thing is, when people download your beats for free, it opens up a line of communication, right? So what I learned was on BeatStars was that uh as I was approaching full time, or what I've learned is that when you have those beats at the free download, a lot of times they do want to buy the beat. They're just trying to figure things out. Um, they're really not trying. Like, for me personally, I've had way more people. I can't. I might have had like one person or two that tried to like steal a beat, but I can tell you right now, like 97, 98% of the time, they just downloaded the beat to see if it works with what they're writing to. And a lot of times, if they downloaded something and they really can feel it, they end up buying it like the next day. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if that's buyer psychology or not, but usually people do a lot of impulse buying. So I've learned that when artists download my beats for free, more than likely they come back and buy um a lease to everything. Just make sure your beats are tagged. That's the only thing I would probably say. Just make sure your beats are tagged. But from that, and because I had an email list, I was able to, if you can mix or engineer or just anything, right? Just if you have any skills like custom beats and stuff like that, you can make a lot of money. Cause what I was learning was, now you get your reps in. You can test out. It's way better to test out people that downloaded your beats for free than people that's purchased your beats, because you can make mistakes. And I think a lot of times, like, us as producers, we skip over like the small things. That was one thing that I never wanted to do. I never wanted to skip over the small stuff, because I promise you, when it came to me becoming a full-time music producer, it's the small things that fuck y'all. That, well, not y'all, but it was the small things that effed me up in the beginning, and I started paying attention to that. Right. So, and what I mean by small things is this: when someone downloads your beat, one of the best emails you could send to them eventually is, instead of a discount, asking them, what do you need? Period. What do you need? How can I help you? And a lot of times, they'll ask me, do you do custom beats? How much do you charge? I need mixing and mastering. Do you do that? I do engineering. Do you do that? For me, I do a lot of song. I do hooks and songwriting on a lot of my beats. So I get a lot of emails asking me, "Hey, how much it costs for you to do a verse, or like how much it costs for you to put a hook on this beat that don't have a hook on it that you got." And a lot of times we have a conversation about it, but that led me to making a lot of sales because um you just never know, man. Like I play piano. I've had artists ask me, "Hey man, I got this trap beat, but I wanted like some pianos over it, and the other producer don't really know how to play piano. Can you like put some gospel keys over that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that." You know what I'm saying? And I got paid for it. I charged like maybe $100 for it, and all it took was like about maybe 2 hours to lay some keys across it or whatever. But that's like equivalent to studio time when you think about it. $50 an hour, 2 hours is $100. So a lot of these things kind of like really helped me to making a lot of money just based off a free download. And when I say like when I say you can make mistakes, like if someone, let's say if you never did email marketing before, right? And you just don't have the communication skills or the sales skills, right? You could potentially mess up a lot of money that a person had for you because the communication wasn't there or the email structure wasn't there, right? So what I mean by that is like by me practicing, and I still do, by me practicing different emails, different subject lines and stuff like that with my free download people. If they unsubscribe from my MailChimp, I'm really not mad at that. I definitely understand because more than likely I've learned they're gonna come back and download something else and they're gonna come back into my email list. That like usually happens, and I've had people that then left, came back, and still on there. So don't be afraid if someone downloaded your beat for free and they didn't like the email that you sent out to them or whatever, they unsubscribe from your email list. It's okay. The world's not going to end. I promise you got fire beats. All of y'all got fire beats. I promise you there will be more people to come back. But the mistakes that I see a lot of producers doing is you may have someone with a lot of money and the communication or the communication or the email just isn't there, you know? And a lot of times free downloads, I was able to see like, okay, these subject lines work, this don't work. Okay, I should have said this a better way. Damn. So you get what I'm saying? Like it teaches me like I should have said this a better way or I should have phrased this differently. I start to know what a lot of artists like have issues with. Like I have a background in music business, so a lot of times people buy beats from me because I'm very knowledgeable. So I've had artists that hit me up and say, "Hey man, I'm thinking about buying beats now." Say, "Hey, look, if you buy beats from me, I'll give you a cheat sheet on where you can go to set up your how to copyright, where to copyright your music, or how to do your publishing, right?" Like, and because of that, I've had artists buy my beats and continue to buy my beats because of that. So you just never know what skill you may have in music that could benefit. If you play guitar, if you're really good at 808s, if you're really good at engineering, it's so many different things. Beat visualizers, graphic design, anything. You know, I had a producer hit me up. He didn't even know that you can have graphic designer as a service on BeatStars. So you can pretty much, if you go to BeatStars and click on services, I'm gonna give you another gem. If you don't do any of the services listed, choose I think the subject is like studio services, right? And studio services could basically be any generic thing that you come up with, right? Because the title that you give it is always can be whatever you want it to be. For instance, I have a beat visualizer service, right? But I believe the category is studio services. So if you don't find it, don't think that you can't do it. You can do whatever you want as a service on BeatStars. Just be creative with it. But that can really help you with offering free downloads on BeatStars and practicing these different techniques, different ways to communicate, seeing what artists need. So when you get that buyer that has $1,000 or $2,000, you could really be good at communicating with them and understanding what they need. And because you've had those reps that I was talking, see how all this is coming full circle now? because I was talking about reps earlier, you're getting your reps in. So now when you're ready to have conversations, even if it's difficult ones, because I've had a lot of difficult conversations with people that downloaded my beats for free. But I've learned from that. So when I have these conversations now, it's like I know how to handle myself. I know what I'm okay with. I know what I'm not okay with, and I know how to say it in a very professional, respectful way, and not get mad about it because I understand from another artist's perspective that they may not be able to agree with the terms that I have, and that's okay. We're all human. So, um, and uh, uh, and the reason I'm saying 1,000, 2,000 is I'm gonna give y'all a quick story about how this works, right? This is gonna come full circle. I had like a ballad type beat, like an R&B ballad type beat, right? And I saw I was getting a lot of downloads on that one beat. So I made like a few more of them. I put like some I added like a hook on it. I did a songwriting version to y'all who may not know I do songwriting to some of my beats as well. And this is when Olivia Rodrigo, who makes a lot of piano ballad beats, and a few other artists had a bunch of piano ballad beats at the time, and I wanted to do that. Well, I started seeing it. Like I told y'all, when you study the music and the market, things fall in place. An artist literally brought my beat for $1,000. She hit me up. She downloaded it for free. She asked me like what were the terms and conditions, and I explained it to her what she can do with a free beat. And I told her like, hey, look, would you be you know would you be interested in purchasing the track? So she skipped all the way over the leases. She wanted to own it. So we talked for a little bit, and we agreed, and she ended up buying the beat for $1,000. In return, I told her, we can do like a 30-minute um IG conversation about where she can go to copyright her music, right? And we did do that. And it wasn't even 30 minutes. It was basically me explaining to her where to go to copyright her music. And she also wanted to use my lyrics. So we agreed to certain terms on all of this stuff. And because of that, she brought that beat for $1,000. She came back and she brought another piano beat for 1,000 a month later. So that was $2,000 I made in 2 months just off of that one very special artist. And that's happened to me a few times. It happened to me again this month. So by me having this stuff in place, it taught me like, man, I'm so glad that I did these free downloads. I'm so glad I had this set up because it taught me how to practice. And if you get to a certain point, I do want to say this because I don't want to. I'm one of those producers like I'm gonna keep it. I know people say keep. I know when people say keep it real, it's become so but I just want to give y'all two perspectives from this, right? So I'm gonna be completely honest as well. If if you set up free downloads and you have 2,000, if you reach that limit on Mailchimp where you have 2,000 emails that you got from free downloads and you haven't got a sale yet, then something is wrong. Um, and what I mean by that is either you haven't emailed them enough or you haven't tried out different subject lines. Because by the time I got to like 2,000 emails, I was pretty much almost full time at that point. Um, that's just my advice to you. So if you're still not making a lot of money at 2,000 emails, don't pay for. This is my personal advice. You don't have to do it, but I wouldn't necessarily pay for MailChimp if I wasn't already making money. So if that happens, this is what I did too. You can go in MailChimp and you can literally go and see people who are not opening up your emails. And like let's say if you got like 200 people who did not open up your emails or they're not responding, you can actually delete them from MailChimp. So now that frees up 200 more people that you can get into your email list, right? You still have those emails in MailChimp, but you could just set it to where it's not a part of the 2,000, right? Or you can download them and save it for later. So when you do have enough money to pay for it, you can do it. Or if you have the money to pay for MailChimp, once you go past that, that's completely fine too. Once I reached 2,000, I was making enough to be like, okay, MailChimp is like, I think it's like 13 or $17 or something like that. I was making enough to cover the cost for MailChimp and BeatStars. Um, Another thing is, I know this is lengthy, y'all, but I promise you, I'm dropping. If this has been helpful to y'all, please drop some emojis because I'm really trying to give game. And I'm not bullshitting y'all. Like all this stuff I'm telling y'all really played a part in making. I know it's not all about money, but I do believe in financial literacy. If y'all seen my interviews with DJ Payne or my talks with Mike Trampy, I'm always talking about financial literacy. Making beats and doing what we love is fine, but I'm very business oriented. I believe that we should be able to build a business that we can pass on down to like our kids and have something financially empowered for us, right? So another thing I want to talk about with the free downloads is I know I do know a lot of times people give their emails out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and all that when they're looking for beats, right? But a lot of times I found that some of them may not know how to purchase beats or even know what BeatStars is. So that's understandable, but it saves me a lot of time focusing more on the free downloads on BeatStars. Or of course, if you have the link set up on YouTube or Twitter, and they'll download it from there, right? But what I've learned is when they do that, when someone takes an action, this is just business in general. If someone downloads your beat or buy your beat just once, or if they download your beat in business, that you've actually skipped over like seven. It usually takes about, I think they say it takes about like 5 to 6 cold calls or emails, not emails, but cold calls or conversations to get someone to purchase your track because they don't know you yet, right? Well, if you have your stuff set up for free download on your tracks and you're promoting it on all on a bunch of different places, you got to think about this. They took time out to do that. Whereas if someone just gave their email out on YouTube or somewhere else or Instagram, they may not be acclimated with the BeatStar system. And I've had these situations where I've tried to contact certain artists and they don't know how BeatStars work, and they just didn't want to buy it from me, which is crazy because they wasn't too sure. I mean, we worked it out. Eventually, brought it for me on BeatStars, but you got to think about the time it saves you, right? These people that are downloading your beats, they're already acclimated with the BeatStars system, so they know how everything works. You don't have to really explain anything to them, like talking about, except maybe your license options. So for me, it worked out perfectly because at the time I was working a full-time job, and I didn't have time. I didn't always have time to go like I was doing my thing while I hit up people in the DMs and stuff like that, but a lot of times I didn't have time to do that. So with the automations that I had set up on MailChimp and the free downloads on BeatStars, that kind of like helped me out a lot. Uh, I could be working a full-time job doing something else, but I could have like 20 free downloads in one day, and an email from MailChimp gets sent out to them saying, "Hey, thank you for downloading my beat. Um, I appreciate it. I would love to hear your music. By the way, here's a discount code on your first purchase. Use Cloud940 to get 40% off on your first beat purchase. And I would love to hear from you. Let's connect. Let's connect on here, right? I just gave y'all a whole template on what I do for emails. It's short, sweet, simple. Let them know what I do. Boom, 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 and we move on our way. I would get off of work at like 5 or 10 o'clock sometimes and see people replying back to that automated email I had set up. You know what I'm saying? And then I was able to engage with them. But you see how much time I saved? I was able to go to work. I wasn't too worried about all the social media platforms. I had uploaded. I had my beats on SoundCloud, Audio Mac, and YouTube, so they was doing a thing. So I was able to get all that stuff, while I was working. And I think a lot of times, from you know people overlook that the free downloads. So I'm not gonna sit up here and not say that I didn't hit up artists in the DMs because I still do that. But I'm extremely busy these days. Like my days have been mad crazy, y'all. With learning and stuff like that. I focus more on learning than doing a lot of other stuff. But that was one very very great example of how you can save time if you work in a full-time job. And like I said, a lot of full-time producers, I feel they don't really talk about like the in-between point. And I'm one of those people, I like to talk about the in-between point. You gotta appreciate the journey, man. Like this cool, it's cool I got a plaque from BeatStars. It's cool I got a million plays. A lot of people think it's overnight success because I did it in 2 years, and it kind of is in a way, but um I've been producing for a very long time. I don't lie about this stuff. I could have quit my job a few times and went producing, but in 2020 it just felt like the perfect time. But these things led up to me to be able to save my money, save me time, and just do what I gotta do to get through everything. Like for instance, today, and once your catalog, man, let me tell you something. Once your catalog grows, man, I know I get like maybe 20 plus emails a day, right? And that and it may not be every day. If some days it's like one, two, sometimes I have 30, but that's 30 chances. That's 30 chances I got to take my shot, man. I didn't have to go on like I didn't have to go on Instagram and go find an artist. I didn't have to go on Twitter and find an artist. I have to go on TikTok and then find an artist. They came to me. You know what I'm saying? And granted, if they're a good artist or a growing artist, they're still trying to put money in your pockets, or they downloading your beat for free to support. And you just never know where that goes. And a lot of times we overlook artists who may not be as good as um, ones that have a little bit more experience. And I think a lot of times you gotta look at it. Kendrick Lamar, if you listen to Kendrick Lamar when he first started out, he was dope, but he's nowhere dope as what he was now. Same thing with J. Cole, same thing with Drake. A lot of artists that we love used to sound like trash when they first started. So you never know who the hell you may come across. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. So that was one of the points I wanted to make about, and that's a very powerful point, y'all, because time is the most expensive thing in the world because we can't get it back. So the best we can do is make great use of our time. And that was my strategy. I knew on weekends I had time to like schedule out everything, but during the week I was like, okay, I gotta get off of work. Okay, I gotta do some mental health stuff, like stretch, you know what I'm saying? Relax a little bit. I gotta eat, take a shower. If you got kids, watch, make sure the kids right. That gives you like what, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, to get things popping, which is dope because that's 10 hours in a week. I like numbers, y'all. So anyway, that gives you opportunity to work on what you gotta work on. Like I was able to make beats while I was getting free downloads. I didn't have to promote much. So my best advice is when you do set your free downloads, I would say make sure you put your beats up on SoundCloud, Audio Mac, and YouTube. Make sure you have things scheduled out to build up your SEO because that's what I did. It's like a two-part thing. Like the free downloads, I got a lot of free downloads just from people visiting BeatStars. Like I would probably say 70% of my free downloads comes organically from BeatStars. And not from any other social media platform, which I think is really dope. So just kind of keep that in mind, and with that, because as you grow with your beats, you're gonna get a lot of artists downloading them, and one thing I saw too that BeatStars do that I thought was really cool is that now they promote free beats for download on their Instagram. So I don't know if y'all noticed this, but and on Facebook, at least like once or twice a month, they'll like post like some of the top beats or beats they thought was really dope on BeatStars. They'll promote that across their social media, and they'll highlight you, right? I thought that was really dope. That it'll be like, you like these beats, you think they're dope, guess what? They're free for download. And they'll give the artist name. You just got free promotion to a platform that have access to almost 20 million different users for free. Just because you set something up for free download. That's freaking insane. Um, Let me see if there's anything else on this bullet point. So, all right, some producers, artists they like. All right. Okay, I talked about that. Okay. Um, yeah, I talked about it in the email, asking them what type of stuff they like and all of that with artists. Um, I think that's it, y'all. I'm pretty. Let me go through this one more time. Channels, marketing, free downloads. Okay, yeah, I think I went through everything. I'm gonna give some more like gems too. So like I said, if you've been listening to the beginning or just joining in, I really appreciate it. Bless you and your family. Um, this is what I meant when I was saying like get your reps in. When you have these free downloads, you can practice anything that you want with these artists. Because they haven't purchased nothing yet. So you can really practice on like learning how to do proper email marketing. Whereas if you have people that's already buying your beats and you say something wrong or you do something wrong, they might unsubscribe from your email list. And if they do, just remember that it's okay. Um, what I usually do is I'm gonna give y'all another tip. When someone unsubscribes from my email list, MailChimp lets me know who the person is and their email. What I do is I personally reach out on Gmail. I tell them, it's sorry to see you go, but I still want to help you. That's my email. Sorry to see you go, but I still want to help you. And in the email, what I say is, hey, I saw you unsubscribe from my email list. I if if I did something, if I could do something better, please let me know. I'm sorry to see you leave, but I do want your career to grow, and I appreciate the time we had. Below is a discount that you can use whenever if you decide to come back. I won't email you anymore, but I do look forward to seeing you come back if that's the case. So it's like maybe like four sentences in there, but I'm really sincere in what I'm saying. Um, I'm sorry. I am sorry to see them go, but I do still want to help the artists because I'm passionate about music business. So I do give them a discount regardless if they leave or stay, and I just say thank you for your time because they took time to check out my emails and they unsubscribed for whatever reason. And I asked them what I could have done better because that lets me know, and I've gotten some pretty good feedback. Like my emails were too long. Um, or they might not be looking for beats anymore. It's just you just never know. So, when someone unsubscribes from your email list, personally reach out to them through your Gmail account and just let them know, be sincere and just say and just let them know, hey, sorry to see you leave, but I still want to help you. Uh, what could I've done better? Here's a discount. I will, and keep me in the loop with what you got going on with music because I want to support you, right? And that's just being human. A lot of times we get caught up in email marketing. I know I talked about a little bit about free downloads and emails and all this other stuff, but I think the most important thing is that I've learned becoming a full time music producer is just being human. Just be human, and just be the the best person you could possibly be. Hey Natalie, thank you for coming in. What's up, AA? Thank you. Shout out to Dre Dog, A Precise. I see some of y'all came in while I was talking. I didn't want to interrupt anyone or whatever. And hope I didn't embarrass y'all by calling y'all out on here. But I just want to say thank y'all for coming in. But yeah, I'm glad y'all been enjoying these gems I gave. And the best thing you can do is, like I said, be human, be very personable. I am very shy, believe it or not, y'all. That's why I do Twitter Spaces. And I haven't really. A lot of times people ask me why I don't have a YouTube channel, or producer YouTube channel, or producer focus Instagram or anything like that. And it's like, y'all want gems? Follow me on Twitter because I promise you I'm always tweeting them out. I just don't have enough time to really like go all out like like some of your favorite producer influencers because I don't consider myself a producer influencer. My primary objective is serving the artist and making sure the artist is properly taken care of as a music producer. Um, but at the same time, giving back to my peers, just like any um profession would do. Like you have attorneys who do law work, but they also give back to future students or their peers and give talks and stuff like that. So that's why I do these interviews. I don't do a lot of them, but when I do, I drop a lot of gems. And this Tuesday is going to be a lot of gems on Road to 1 Million that I didn't really get the chance to talk about and hear with Mike Trampy. that I'm proud of. Um, but yeah, I think that was about it. Let me see if there's any more gems. But yeah, just make that's very important. If someone unsubscribes from the email list, make sure to reach out to them. Don't get mad, because I learned the hard way that you got to take your emotions out sometime and you got to be professional. I learned that a long time ago. You never know what a person is going through, and they just probably don't want to receive the email no more. So, but do contact them and make sure that they're okay. Um, but that's one reason why I say having free beat downloads are extremely important. And if you don't have free beat downloads set on your profile, I completely understand. I'm not trying to change your mind or anything on that. I'm just trying to give you a perspective that could greatly help you. Um, I'm gonna probably take questions for like the next maybe like 10 minutes. So if y'all had questions on stuff, let me know. Make sure they're very specific though. Like if it's like how to sell beats, I need something more specific than that. I need something like just very more specific because that's very wide open. So if you have a specific question you want to ask, let me know and yeah. So let's get to it. I'm gonna try to do this right. I'm still learning how this works. All right, I think Damon was first. Uh, did I get this right? Damon, can you hear me? Uh, Damon, can you hear me? You gotta hit the speaker, the mic button.